Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 16th Annual Massachusetts Independent Comics Expo, aka MICE. I'm Dan Mazur, one of the organizers of MICE. I've been at all 16 of them. Thank you, thank you. And welcome especially to this very special production of Science Comics Carousel. But first, a few acknowledgments. I want to thank our hosts, Boston University and BU's Visual Narrative Program. Thank you as well to the Leigh Family Foundation for supporting free admission to MICE. Science Comics Carousel is sponsored by the Massachusetts Center for the Book. Is that on here somewhere? The little. Oh, you can cut through it. Go for it. Oh, go no, other way. Whoops. I'm not here. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. Just forget it. I don't need the logo.
No, there it is.
Oh, no.
This is all they gave me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There, with the Massachusetts Center for the Book, which has a really nice logo, I suggest you go look for it. It's the official state affiliate of the Center for the Book in the Library of Congress. The Mass Center for the Book works to celebrate and advance the culture of books, reading, and literacy throughout the Commonwealth. Learn more at massbook.org. MICE is also a member festival of the Boston Comic Art Foundation, and you can discover more amazing comics events at bostoncomicarts.org. Now, today's moderator, or ringmaster, mad scientist, whatever he is R. Sikoryak, a New York City-based cartoonist, a legend, really. Author of Constitution Illustrated, Masterpiece Comics, Terms and Conditions, and The Unquotable Trump. He's adapted the classics for various comics anthologies, including Raw, Drawn and Quarterly, The Graphic Canon, and more. And he is the creator of the Comics Carousel. So without further ado, R. Sikoryak.
Hey, everybody. Oh, I almost broke my teeth. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to Carousel. There we go. Science Comics Edition. I'm excited to be back. We did carousels before COVID, and now we're here again, and I brought my new lab coat, so we're all set. We have an exciting lineup today, and so that I make sure I get everyone's names right, let's look at them on the screen, shall we? We have Al Benbow, Jerel Dye, Alexandra Gallant, Caroline Hu, and Lindsey Leigh. So, and they're all from Boston, so when I read their bios, I'm leaving that part out. So they're all from Boston, or the Boston area. Is that right? You're still all here, pretty much? Okay. I was told you were all around you're in the neighborhood. So we have a very exciting show. I thought I would break the ice with a short presentation of my own. Now, this is a comic I actually did for Wired magazine. They asked me to do a story about if we actually did go to Mars, what's all the things that could go wrong? And they asked me to draw it in a particular comic style, and it was one of my favorite jobs ever. So here it is. Oop, well, there goes the sound. Well, imagine spooky sci-fi music in the background. If it weren't for that infernal dust storm, I could have landed that blasted bucket. We're over 10 miles from the professor's base. Nattering nanobots, this is ridiculous. I need a shot of whiskey. Don't, Captain. The atmosphere's not fit to breathe. I'm not going to breathe, just drink. I'll put my helmet right back on. But the radiation. Ah! Poor Captain, he's done for. We'd better keep going, Snowy. Whoa, whoa. Hold on, Snowy. I know the sun's intense, but we're almost at the base. Professor, am I glad to see you? Everything's gone horribly wrong. My boy, everything's splendidly here. I must show you my latest experiment. Come in. Don't mind the crew. They've been at each other's throats for weeks. It's the confinement, you know. Damn you. To be precise, damn you. And don't breathe too deeply. Our oxygen is running out. We've had to cannibalize the return ship for spare parts and supplies. But look, even though the food we've grown is nearly inedible, my rhododendrons are coming in nicely. We came all this way for a wilted shrub. Grrr! Down, Snowy. It's poisonous. When does the next flight arrive, Professor? Oh, soon, very soon. Less than 6 months. Whoa, whoa. Crumbs. The end. Thank you so much. Our first guest, and now we get to the real entertainment. That was just the icebreaker. So our first guest is a cartoonist in the Boston area whose work often centers around identity, transness, lesbian community, and being outside. They now live in New England, where they still harbor a love for rural spaces. Please welcome Al Benbow. How's it going? Good. Good. The show's happening. It's great. Here we go. Here's Al.
Okay, awesome. Awesome, thank you. Okay, hello. So I'll be reading my comic titled "Why Wouldn't I Want That?" My experience with being prescribed feminizing meds as a gender non-conforming teen. On December 4th, 2024, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments in United States versus Schimetti. So, if you take, for example, a transgender adolescent boy, he cannot receive testosterone to live consistent with his male identity because he was assigned female at birth. Had he been assigned male at birth, he could receive that same medication for that same purpose. A case that will decide whether states can ban gender-affirming care, such as puberty blockers, hormone therapy, surgery, etc., for minors. That is sex discrimination. Some of the comments read, "This lawyer is strange indeed. This case will get booted out, as it should. Fighting the good fight. Good luck to him. Freak shows. Let's not recreate the Weimar Republic. ... Thanks." It's gotten me thinking a lot about all the ways gender-affirming care is really normalized for cis people. So normalized, in fact, it isn't even called gender-affirming care. Lots of men have trouble performing in bed. For some, it's issues getting hard. It's just called healthcare. For others, it's finishing too quickly. Either way, hymns can help. What did we do to make Hulu thinks this ad applies to us? 10 years ago, I experienced this type of healthcare firsthand and unknowingly when the adults in my life assumed I was a cis teenage girl. My partner and I like to joke that I'm biologically butch. Disclaimer that butches can come in all shapes and sizes. I've always had more facial and body hair than most of my female peers, a slightly deeper voice, a body shaped like a cereal box, and a generally androgynous appearance. Oh my gosh, what happened to your face? I've also always had really bad acne. It started around 4th grade. Huh? I fell off my skateboard. Consequently, I was prescribed spironolactone as a teen. Your acne might be hormonal. If none of the topical treatments are working, this should help. Okay. Anything to make my face stop hurting every day. It didn't really work. Now I have acne, and I feel increasingly weird about my body in a way that I can't quite articulate. Years later in college, I started coming to terms with being trans. While browsing in trans spaces online, I discovered that spironolactone is often prescribed to trans women. Ask anything. Is spironolactone effective for FTM transition? It's often used as an anti-androgen in an HRT regimen. Spiro on its own may give you some feminizing effects, but you don't usually transition on just Spiro. Wait a second, that's what I take. It's barely even helping my acne anyway. I've been having more and more other adverse side effects already, so this discovery only sealed the deal. I stopped taking it shortly thereafter. And after I quit taking it, I found that my hips and my chest got smaller and more of my facial and body hair came back. Never thought I'd be grateful for stomach hair. Whew. Sure enough, I still had terrible acne with or without spironolactone. I ended up finally resorting to isotretinoin or Accutane while I was in college. Before spironolactone, I'd been prescribed hormonal birth control as a teen, also with the goal of controlling my acne. I was required to stay on it while on isotretinoin despite my insistence that there was zero chance of me getting pregnant. Sorry, it's an outdated system. I'm like, okay, whatever. I stopped taking it after finishing isotretinoin and noticed yet more facial and body hair returning. I swear I'm getting more muscle when I work out now, too. This is insane. I feel like I'm detransitioning after being forcibly feminized. In contrast, most adult trans women who want to take spironolactone have to, at minimum, sign a consent form that contains a detailed list of all the possible risks and side effects, which are the same regardless of what gender a person was assigned at birth. They said it usually takes a couple of different sessions, from girls in high school getting laser hair removal treatment on their face and body, to testosterone therapy for cisgender men with low T. What James offers, testosterone replacement therapy is a good option for treating men with hypogonadism, low testosterone. I think a lot of cisgender people seem to be completely unaware that they're readily provided with options for gender-affirming care all the time. When I see new legislation and hear endless comments supporting bans on gender-affirming care for minors, kids are too young to make their own medical decisions. Just parents chemically and surgically mutilating their children. Stop this child abuse. Giving kids hormones is abuse, plain and simple. I can't stop thinking about how, as a teen, I was assumed to be a cisgender girl by the adults around me. Have a good day. And was prescribed a medication that altered my hormone levels and feminized my body without hesitation. In fact, it was such a non-issue, thanks, you too, that nobody even bothered to explain to me what this medication actually does, including its long and short-term side effects. So what if it makes my hips bigger and makes my body hair disappear? After all, if I'm a girl, why wouldn't I want that? And these are my sources.
Should I leave this up while everyone's copying it down? Take a photo. It'll be faster. Thank you so much. Our next guest, we're doing this in alphabetical order, so you can guess, but I'm going to read the intro as if you didn't know that already. They have illustrated several graphic novels, including Science Comics, Computers, and Einstein, which was listed as one of the top 10 graphic novels of the year by AL Book List? What? ALA Book List. Excuse me. That was my typo. Please welcome Jerel Dye, everyone. How are you?
I'm good. Get out of this mask.
You can take off your mask. So, yes, so these are the forward buttons.
Hi, everybody. I gotta put my gear back on. This has got to go up. I'll lean a little bit. I'm the illustrator for this book, Science Comic Computers. So this situation's a little unusual for me because I'm going to be reading the words that were written by Perry Metzger and Penelope Spector. Here they are as dinosaurs. Perry was the computers expert on the book, and Penelope did most of the comics writing and knew more about comic stylings. And here I am, also not a dinosaur. But this book was actually quite the collaboration. We spent many years making it more than we were normally prescribed. The writers happened to also be a married couple, and they had several babies in the middle of writing the story. So things got slowed down from time to time. So I did a lot of the sort of character work and gags that are in the story. So a lot of the visual gags were my own creation, so that's why I'm including them today. Let's go ahead and move forward. So this chapter I'm going to be reading is basically in the middle of the book. The first few chapters are kind of explaining some of the technical information about computers on how they work on sort of a fundamental level. We have a character named Edna Greenspun, who we'll meet briefly in this, who is tasked with filling out the activities of a computer as a velociraptor, very mundane and dull tasks. Our main narrator is Isabella Brunel, who's a complete jerk and tends to meet her match with the different characters throughout the book. And then in chapter 3, she teaches all about binary computers with this character who we never name, but is a very small, very precocious, very confident little child who seems to know more about computers than anybody else in the book. And we're gonna spend some time with her today. We affectionately called her TAC, which was short for Tiny Annoying Child. That was awesome! High five! I suppose. We make a great team. We could do the rest of this book together. That's very kind of you, but... No, really, I can do it. See, watch. I'll take the next bit. No, really, I don't think that's necessary. So, as you can see, much because binary is simpler, it's the best number system to use when designing a computer. Hey, imagine for a moment that you're going to design a mechanical, not dinosaur-based, binary, not decimal-based computer. What do you need? What do you need that computer to be able to do? Now you go. Fine. First, a binary mechanical computer needs to be able to represent zeros and ones as mechanical states. They're called bits. Excuse me? Binary digits, bits. The zeros and ones that you're representing in the computer, those are called bits. Indeed. Every binary digit, a 0 or 1, is a bit. Now, there are all sorts of mechanical ways you could represent bits. Any system that can be in two clearly distinct states will do. You could even represent ones and zeros with, say, cows and chickens. That would work just fine. No, it won't. What? You need to be able to switch and manipulate the bits. Cows and chickens can't be switched easily. Believe me, I've tried. Regardless, one needs to be able to move the bits around from one part of the computer to another mechanically. You also need to be able to store and retrieve the numbers in particular addresses in memory, the way Edna Greenspun did with VENIAC. Wait, you know Edna Greenspun? She's famous! Oh, splendid. She's so cool! You also need to be able to decode instructions after you've fetched them from the memory. And again, that action needs to be mechanical rather than, say, velociraptorial. She has a black belt in karate! After the machine has decoded the instructions, which are of course made of bits, it needs to activate different parts of itself to do things like add or multiply the numbers in the registers. All without any velociraptors involved. She has a Fields Medal! When VENIAC runs a program that requires two numbers to be multiplied together, Edna remembers that the multiplication table. But when you're building a mechanical computer, you can design devices from simple building blocks called gates that take the bits as input and do simple things like multiplying or adding them. In fact, anything you can describe with a small table, you can build out of mechanical gates. We'll see that soon. So no velociraptors needed. I bet Edna would be a much better narrator for this book, and I could help her. Young person, did you know that there's an original PDP 1170 in that broom closet over there? Ooh, I've always wanted to see one of those. Hey, that wasn't very nice. Delicious. Wait, there really is an 1170 in here. Awesome! So we've discussed a bit about why it's important for computers to be mechanical instead of made of dinosaurs. But what does a computer look like if it's a machine? It looks like this. This enlarged photograph of the surface of a real microprocessor of an electronic CPU made from a single piece of etched silicon. The real thing is much less than an inch square. The individual parts of the surface of modern chips are less than a millionth of an inch across. The individual parts of modern computers are extremely tiny, extremely complicated, and run on electricity. But you know what? A computer doesn't need to run on electricity. And we're going to build one right now that doesn't. Why? Partially so I don't have to explain how electricity works, which, trust me, would take its entire book of its own. By the way, if there's an opening available, I'd be happily narrate that book. Well, ahem, ahem. I don't get it. And it doesn't have to be tiny. We're going to build a computer where the parts are big, so it's easy to see how they work. Besides, it isn't electricity that makes a computer a computer. VENIAC didn't use any electricity at all, unless you count Edna's electrifying personality. Any machine that can be mechanically manipulate bits to do what Edna did in her office is a computer. Ms. Brunel, the equipment you ordered. Ah, you're right on time. Please follow me. Even a series of tubes that have high-pressure air or low-pressure air inside of them can be a computer if you arrange them cleverly enough. And a computer made out of tubes and air can be made large enough and simple enough that it's easy to understand how it works just from looking at it. Now, you wouldn't really want to use a computer made out of air hoses and springs and the like. It would be very, very, very slow and noisy, and it would probably break down a lot. But in principle, you could, and I'm going to show you how to build one with the help of some friends. Camelli, and custom glass and metal fabrication, specialty mechanisms for mad scientists and computer engineers. Our new computer will be much like VENIAC, except it will be mechanical, not velociraptorial, and it will be binary instead of decimal. Let's call it BRONIAC, the binary raptorless air hose work numerical instruction automatic computer. The rest of this book is about how such a machine could work. We don't have enough room to design the whole thing, but we'll give you enough information to see how it could be built. And that's it. Thank you. So we do have a website up called VENIAC.com. There is going to be a simulated velociraptorial computer on that you can play around with as soon as it's done. It should be in a few weeks or a month.
Bit of a cliffhanger there, but we'll get to that. Thank you so much. Oh, I should mention, everyone has tables here, so you can talk to them all after the show. I'll put up their booth numbers at the end. And our next artist is standing right here. Let me read their introduction. Again, the suspense. Our next artist is an award-winning artist with over 15 years of experience communicating scientific ideas and concepts through visual communication. Please welcome, with some special guests, Alexandra Gallant Lee. Hello. Why don't you stand there and I'll open this up.
Perfect.
Anything we need to know before we start?
So brains is a visual exploration of like thinking and perceiving, and so the part that I'm going to go through today is the first part of it, which is about thinking, and then it will actually end with the last page because it's my favorite and I couldn't resist. All right. Hello, my name is Lionel J. Frogby. The J is for just a little guy. And tonight, I will be playing the part of a blood cell with a big crush on the brain. Let's see if they're going to auto-advance or not. No, it's because I have the timings on. Oh, there we go. All right. How does an idea form inside your brain? Oh, they're not actually. Is it? Yeah, they're all, the timings are not actually going.
Oh, maybe could it be the different?
Is it because it's not? It's okay. You just open that one, so it should.
Yeah, this is the one from December.
Let's
Should be
try it again.
Okay.
I'll start over. I might have hit arrow and just hit play, and then we'll go. All right,
So-
it should be all set. I think these ones I do.
Experimentation, that's what science is all about.
There we go.
We'll figure it out.
It's all right. Get to. All right. I'll wait for this one to start again. These don't go automatically. I guess I can just click through them then. How does an idea form inside your brain? Brainstorming. spark. Actually, is there a way I can just hook up my iPad?
Normally at this point, I would ask if there's any questions, but I've tried that before, and sometimes people actually have questions, and then it totally shuts the show down. So we're going to actually
It'll take 2 seconds.
do this.
Well, I'm an AV person too, so.
Well, this is
I
great.
can just-
Why didn't they have you do the show instead of me? Maybe that would have been smarter. Hopefully this will work. Fingers crossed.
Plug this.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate you being
No,
prepared.
It's all right. You screamer. There we go.
Is it working?
Yes.
Wow.
All right. Let's try this. I'm just going to scooch this slightly. All right. And now we'll get the full picture. There we go. Hello, my name is Lionel J. Fogby. The J is for just a little guy. You can laugh at this joke like it's not the first time you heard it. And today I will be playing the part of a blood cell with a big crush on the brain. All right. How does an idea form inside your brain? Brainstorming, thunder noises. Sometimes it's spontaneous. A spark. A moment in time. Sometimes it's harder. You have to fight for it. It takes time. It takes thinking. You're grasping at air until suddenly it's like catching a falling star in your hand. It can feel like plucking fruit from a tree and seeing what's inside. And sometimes it's a pit or a worm. But sometimes it's a universe. And the best part is that universe is yours. The possibilities are endless. Brainstorming is so much more than just coming up with ideas. Ideas can be transformed. My masterpiece. Sigh. I helped. Wait. Sometimes it's a journey. I love it. Writing isn't just writing. It's thinking through ideas, finding language to describe your experience, putting your thoughts into words. Add some drawings. We got a comic stew going, baby. The creative process is an adventure just waiting for you to discover it. It's up to you to go on a journey within yourself. A plausibility generator / plagiarism machine can't help you with that. This is the part where it turns into a hate letter to AI. All of it just makes me want to write a love letter to brains. Like zombies, I'm a big fan of human brains. Brains can do so many cool things. I just love them so much. Memory, cognition, language processing, sensory perception, emotion, imagination, visual and auditory processing, logic. Do you ever think about thinking? I think about it like all the time. I also think about thinking and AI. An AI has no sense of anything, no context, no experience. It cannot touch. It cannot smell. Snip, snip. It cannot breathe. It cannot think. It cannot be. Stares directly at camera. It cannot be you. That is the end of Brains. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm really sorry about the mix-up.
It,
It worked out. Everything, it all came together. It's alive. Thank you so much. And the screen is working. Awesome. Very good. We're on track. Everything's good. Artist in waiting. Here we go. Let me read the bio. Thanks for being prepared. Our next artist is a cartoonist, science communicator, and biology professor whose debut graphic novel, Who Discovered How to Breathe Underwater, Jacques Cousteau, is written by Ned Wolfe. Please welcome Carolyn Hu, everyone. Hello. I like the unveiling.
Oh.
That was very nice. How's it going?
Great.
Good.
Thanks everyone for coming out for Science Comics.
And here we go. Take it away.
Hi everyone. Today I have a short comic to share with you. It is one that I did in collaboration with Dr. Camille Testard about her research. It is called Social Adaptation as a Form of Resilience, The Macaques of Cayo Santiago. When disaster strikes, how can we withstand hardship? Not just you, not just me, we. When it comes to social behavior, rhesus macaques have a reputation. So going from left to right, you see the more tolerant primate species, the bonobo. Then towards the least tolerant, so past spider monkey, past capuchin monkey, to the most aggressive of all, the rhesus macaque. Puerto Rico. Since 1938, scientists have been studying a population of rhesus macaques on the island of Cayo Santiago. The population density there is similar to New York City, but it's all monkeys. What would happen if disaster hit such a society? Would these macaques' conflictive nature make things worse? (2017) Hurricane Maria. At least 3,059 people died. The most powerful winds passed right over Cayo Santiago. When scientists returned to Cayo Santiago after Maria, they found a very different island landscape. The hurricane had destroyed 63% of the island's vegetation. But to their surprise, most of the macaques survived. And they still don't really know why. The macaques now faced a new major danger, heat stress, especially in the afternoon. So during peak sun, talking 104 degrees. Yet, the macaque population remained steady. How? I have a little visual clue for you there. Scientists have been tracking the social behavior of these macaques for years. Who is sharing space? So within 2 meters. We would all qualify right now. We're sharing space. Who is interacting, doing things like grooming, for example? And the nature of these interactions. Remember, they're jerks. With shade now a crucial and limited resource, the macaque's social behavior looked very different. Before Maria, after Maria. Following the hurricane, macaques more tolerant of sharing space in the shade have been more likely to survive. This increased tolerance persists even in cooler times of the day. With natural disasters becoming more frequent due to climate change, it is important to know what can buffer us from their dangers. Species may be more flexible in their social behavior than we think. And that social adaptation can be a source of resilience. Thank you.
We're getting there. It's happening. Wow, are we actually up to our final artist? It appears so. Looks like you all went. All right, here we go. She is an illustrator and comic artist inspired by the natural world, and she believes strongly in the power of art to communicate scientific ideas, and is the author of the Wildlife series. Please welcome Lindsey Leigh. Hello. We're so close. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Fun show, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
really
good show.
enjoying everyone's presentations.
Cool. Here we go. So just did that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. So I'm going to be doing a selection of spreads of my favorite animals from my new book, The Dirt: Wildlife Under the Soil Surface, which kind of takes you from microscopic creatures all the way up to like larger burrowing animals like this star-nosed mole right here. Oh, sorry. Okay. So welcome to the alien world of the dirt. The soil is a whole ecosystem, a network of connecting organisms and their environment that exists under our feet. Soil is so important to the health of the world, helping us grow our food and supporting forest and flowering plants that keep our air clean. And the animals that live in the soil help keep it healthy. Come on, let's dig deep. Dirt and soil, what's the difference? Dirt alone is lifeless, but soil is healthy and teeming with life. Technically, soil is dirt with added organic matter like dead leaves, dead animals, and poop in it to help plants grow. The dirt was just a catchier title. Okay, twinkle-toed tardigrades. Check out my fancy footwork. Tardigrades, also known as water bears or moss piglets, are finally getting the recognition they deserve and enjoying newfound popularity. These animals were first discovered in 1773, and their name means slow stepper for how they slowly plod around. And these are microfauna, they're microscopic. They live in soil and moss, eating protozoa, algae, fungi, and rotifers. Slurp. These unassuming creatures have amazing superpowers. They can withstand intense cold, nuclear radiation, and even the lifeless vacuum of space. Let's see if it, oh, there we go. So shiver, shiver, burr, kaboom, come in, Houston. They do this by drying out their bodies and going into a state called cryptobiosis. They become dehydrated like a cracker, and in this form they can withstand almost anything. Like rotifers, when they are rehydrated with water, they spring back to life. You can't keep a good tardigrade down. A dried-out museum specimen of moss containing tardigrades was left alone for 120 years, and when it was rehydrated, the tardigrades within it also woke up from their long nap. Huh? What year is it? This might lead you to believe that tardigrades are immortal and indestructible, but they can be killed just like any other creature. They're particularly vulnerable to hot temperatures, especially hot water. No, hot water, my only weakness. Mole crickets' sweet serenade. Let me let you take in that slide. There we go. Mole crickets are natural romantics. Males dig a burrow shaped like a horn that amplifies their chirping song. Their song is loud, and they are one of the loudest insects on Earth. They can be heard over half a mile away. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. Check out these sweet digs. The male song tells the female cricket where he can be found, but the sound also tells her about the structure of the burrow and the wetness of the soil, so she can tell if it's ideal for her eggs. Mole crickets are designed for digging. They look like their namesake, the mole, with their large and powerful front legs. They spend most of their time underground. Some eat plant roots, and others eat earthworms and small insects. Munch, munch, munch. Home for a burrowing owl. Here are the keys. Enjoy your new home. When prairie dogs move out of their burrows, burrowing owls move in. Burrowing owls could be called burrow borrowers, since they often move into other animals' burrows, from prairie dogs, ground squirrels, or tortoises, rather than dig them themselves. Oh, you're a burrowing owl? Burrowing owls in Florida, though, have been known to dig their own burrows. No, burrowing. I'm a burrowing owl. Unlike other owls, burrowing owls are active during the day and spend some of that time making home renovations. They coat the entrance to their burrow with poop to attract tasty dung beetles and other insects. For a home security alarm, the burrowing owls will make a noise that sounds almost exactly like a rattlesnake rattle. Stay out! Burrowing owls sometimes make their homes on golf courses and airfields and are often threatened by human housing developments. 4. Magnificent moles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Pop. European mole. Some might consider a mole to be nothing more than a garden nuisance, but there is much more than meets the eye when it comes to these endearing and hardworking animals. They construct vast tunnel networks and can move 540 times their own body weight in dirt per day. Their fur is smooth and soft, and it helps them slide through the dirt easily. They are true earthworm connoisseurs. Moles need to eat half their weight in worms every day. Because earthworms are awfully gritty, moles squeeze them like a toothpaste tube to get all that icky dirt out of their meal before they eat the worms. Star-nosed mole. These wriggling pink tentacles are not the limbs of a monstrous alien beast, but in fact, the nose of a type of mole. The star-nosed mole's snout is super sensitive. Not only is it an expert tunneler, the star-nosed mole also knows how to swim. Splash! In fact, it lives much of its life in muddy burrows and swimming around looking for its prey of aquatic insects, small amphibians, and fish. While in the water, the star-nosed mole uses its nose to blow bubbles. It then snorts the bubbles back up so that it can smell underwater, which is wild. It smells wet. Golden mole. The golden mole doesn't dig through gardens, but instead the sandy soils of southern Africa. They can practically swim through the sand, but their movements don't leave tunnels behind. Where is it? These disappearing trails can make them difficult to find, and in 2023, a species of golden mole called De Winton's golden mole was rediscovered after being unseen for almost 90 years. Over here. Golden moles can grow up to 9 inches long. They get all the liquid they need from the food they eat, small insects, lizards, and snakes, so they don't need to drink. They are not actually true moles and are more closely related to aardvarks than they are to other mole species. The indestructible naked mole rat. Some might say that with their beady little eyes and wrinkled nude skin, naked mole rats aren't the most pleasant animals to look at. Hey, looks aren't everything. Their odd looks serve a purpose. Their baggy, saggy skin doesn't tear if they get stuck on something while they're digging. Their teeth are in front of their lips, so dirt doesn't get in their mouths while they're arranging themselves neatly in an assembly line to excavate the soil. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Naked mole rats are unlike any other mammal because they are eusocial, like ants and termites, so they live in an underground colony with a queen and workers. My liege. So who can get crowned as the naked mole rat queen? Females fight for the position, and it can be brutal. Once a mole rat becomes queen, her body changes and elongates to fit more babies inside it. If that wasn't interesting enough, naked mole rats have many unusual powers. They can live a long time, up to 30 years. They're also resistant to cancer. They don't feel much pain, and they hardly show signs of aging. And the heroic gopher tortoise. The gopher tortoise is a true superhero. It is known as a keystone species, which means that many other animals depend on this unassuming creature. Gopher tortoises are only about a foot long, but they dig deep tunnels up to 40 feet long, which many other animals will move into to cool down and escape the summer heat. The tortoise won't even mind it if other creatures, such as rattlesnakes, burrowing owls, and eastern cottontail rabbits, hang out with them in the tunnels. Have a little tea party. Feel free to stop by anytime. Most importantly, gopher tortoise burrows can become a life-saving refuge for animals escaping the flames of a brush fire. In the pine forest environment of Florida, fire is revitalizing to the habitat because the older pine trees can withstand the blaze, and the fire will clear out other scrub, allowing new pine trees to grow. But when the fire breaks out, the animals on the ground are at risk if they don't find somewhere to hide. Oh no. Birds can fly away, fish are safe in the water, but ground-dwelling animals need to find an escape fast, so they scurry to gopher tortoise burrows to stay safe and sound underground. Phew. In this way, the tortoise deserves a medal and a front-page feature in the Pine Forest Gazette. You're our hero! And that's all I have for you guys.
And that's our show. Let's look at our guests. Let's thank our guests again. Al Benbow, Jerel Dye, Alexandra Gallant, Caroline Hu, Lindsey Leigh. Thank you so much for having us. Thanks for coming. There's free waters for everyone who just read. I'm sorry I forgot to mention those earlier. Visit our booths. Let me put up that slide because we're all around here somewhere. So please check out everyone's work. And there it is. Thank you. Enjoy the show.